الله بالخير. ما الفخر إلا لأهل العلم، إنهم على الهدى لمن استهدى أدلاء. في أصفهان نصف العالم انطلقت فعاليات الدورة الخامسة لجائزة المصطفى للعلوم والتكنولوجيا. تهدف الجائزة إلى التعريف بالمشاريع والابتكارات العلمية والتقنية المتميزة في العالم الإسلامي وتكريم أصحابها وتشجيع البحث العلمي وتوطيد التعاون والتضامن بين علماء العالم الإسلامي برعاية واحة برديس للتكنولوجيا. حدث علمي وثقافي شارك فيه أكثر من 130 عالمة وعالماً من 30 دولة في العالم الإسلامي. ما هي التحديات التي يواجهها العلماء المسلمون اليوم؟ هل تنهض الثورة العلمية بشعوب العالم الإسلامي الذي لطالما عانى من جراء الاستعمار الثقافي وغيبت إسهامات علمائه في نهضة الغرب؟ ومع انطلاق ثورة الذكاء الاصطناعي، ما هو معيار الخير والشر في العلم وما الضابطة القانونية؟ وأين دور الشباب في هذه الثورة؟ كيف تستخدم العلوم لخير الإنسان في كل مكان بين الماضي والحاضر؟ كيف يرى العلماء المسلمون مستقبل الأمة؟ ولماذا يخاف الغرب من الثورة العلمية في العالم الإسلامي وتقدم إيران المعرفي؟ نرحب بكم ونرى ونسمع أكثر في هذه الحلقة الخاصة من البعد الأقرب من إيران. هذه الميادين وأنا زينب صفار، خليكم ويانا.
The prize has been initiated from Iran, but it's belonged to all the Muslim countries. And now there is a network there's a huge network of scientists and technologists who are working together under the umbrella of a holy prophet. Few of them are the laureates of the prize. Now we are having 19 laureates who, during the last 5 rounds of the prize, got the prize. But there are many of them who can collaborate together to serve the humankind. If we get together and we can serve better the world. The signals of that can be seen in the Mustafa Prize. Professor Ogor Shahin, who invented mRNA technologies and applied to the corona, before applying in corona, has got the prize for mRNA.
The Pfizer, you mean?
Yeah, it is famous by Pfizer, but I prefer to say it's Ogor Shahin. These things can move us, drive us forward. We have to believe we can do that. These 19 stars of the Islamic world in science and technology, who has been appreciated during that last 5 years, can be a very big hope for our new generation that they can change the world, they can make the world the better place to live. And that is how the new civilization of Islamic world will start.
Sure. Dr. Amrani, in the sense, why do you think the West is afraid of the scientific advance and the scientific progress and the scientific revolution in the Islamic world?
Being a Muslim can change the world. What they are afraid of is such a mindset will be accepted by all the world. What they say, what they are trying to convey to the people is that religion is against advancement. That's why the prize is named by the Mustafa. It means at the same time we can be a good Muslim and also a scientist, and we can make changes and we can make improvement in the life of the people. The Mustafa Prize, with the grace of the Holy Prophet, is going to to convey this message to whole the world, that we as a Muslim love the other people, and here we are trying to get the world a better place to live. We take care of your health, we take care of your security, we take care of your society, and there are samples you might know, but they are there, like Professor Ugur Shahin, Professor Omar Yaghi, Professor Ying, Professor Khouri, and many others who are around, but you don't know them. You should know them, and our young generation should know them, so that they encourage to get the same path forward.
Pardees Technology Park, PTP, is one of the top-notch scientific institutions for cutting-edge science and technology in Iran, which is genuinely world-class.
The Pardees Technology Park was established about 22 years ago by the idea from 5 Iranian experts and help from Sharif University of Iran.
Of course.
Today, we host more than 400 high-tech companies and startups in Pardees Technology Park, and about more than 8,000 expert persons and talent persons are working there.
Great.
And the total income of the park's member companies last year was more than $1 billion. And they can, and their turnover was about $3 billion. In this day, our members have produced more than 2,000 new products and technological products. And we have been able to enter the global market too. And also last year, we were able to export some products to many countries, the value of which was about $400 million.
You said something very important about Pardees and all the experts and the companies that you have and your ability to get into the global market,
yes.
despite of the fact that you are under severe unilateral coercive measures or sanctions. How did you manage to do that, Mr. Mohsen?
I should say this is the result of the hard working for companies and Iranian experts to pass the sanctions and
to try and overcome them.
Yes, overcome them and entrance to global market.
Exactly. How does the world today benefit from the scientific, cultural, Islamic heritage?
Yes. As you know, the founder of Pardees Technology Park were implemented various ideas during these 20 years, and one of important is Mustafa Prize, and now it has been able to restore the scientific dignity of Muslims.
And I believe that one of the founders of the Pardees Technology Park
Yes.
is also now heading
Yes.
the Mustafa Science and Technology Foundation.
Yes, of course, Mr. Mahdi Safarnia.
Yes,
Who is,
we salute him,
yes.
actually.
I should say the Pardees Technology Park is located nearby the Tehran. Today is known as the Paradise region in Iran.
It used to be a desert.
Yes, from the desert as
Yes.
now it is the Paradise of Technology region, and it would be a paradise of technology in the east of Asia, inshallah.
Dr. Hassan is a world leader and pioneer in the engineering of the ultra-large-scale systems where millions of users perform billions of transactions, and early tools and techniques developed by his team are already integrated into products that impact the daily lives of millions worldwide.
It's not, so this wasn't just only me and my team. This was a big idea that I realized. And then I worked on it, but I really believe this, so there's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Sure.
So one of the big things I started as well a whole community. So that's the Mani Software Parser community. And everybody in that community, at the beginning, a couple of people said, hey, we should join this idea. This looks interesting. And now, over the years, more and more, been running this event and workshops and all that for 20 years.
Yes.
And there's many people around the world that basically going with that same vision.
It's excellent that you think about not just, doing something and excelling alone, but being part of a big and larger community. And also there's something very important is that you are a family person. And you come here also with your mother, and this was very pleasant to know about you. What does a family mean to you?
Well, it means everything, right? I think family, first your own family, right?
Sure.
So your mother, your parents, your own kids, that's very important, and it plays a very important role for me. I'm always mindful of how much time I need to spend with my kids.
But does that have also a positive effect on how you produce more, how you excel more
Yes.
in the science that
Yeah,
you
so that's from my own kind of family. But in addition to that, I've spent a lot of time really making sure, because I believe science and what we do, it doesn't last long. We're in a very fast-moving world. The real impact and the real lasting kind of legacy is the people we trained.
What does Mustafa Prize mean to you? You are one of the laureates of this 5th round of Mustafa Prize. What does it mean to you, Dr. Ahmed Hassan?
It's an amazing prize, right? It's a top, recognizing research excellence at the highest level, right? And scientific, achievements. But two things that I find are very unique about the Mustafa Prize compared to other prizes is a lot of people that actually want it continue to produce even higher and go to the next level of the type of work they're doing, right? So whereas some other prizes more like a lifelong achievement, and then after that, the idea is you kind of going to disappear. So it gives us the energy to keep on producing and the recognition. But in addition to that as well, the Mustafa Prize is very unique that it actually has a bigger mission, which is trying to bring the Muslim world together, researchers, in one way, and second, making people realize the impact of Muslim nations and Muslim researchers and research on the world as a whole. So these two kind of things, which are very unique on the Mustafa Prize, I think make me very proud to actually be one of the laureates.
How quintessential is it to have this scientific exchange?
So I think so the reality is this idea of doing research by yourself in your own lab is long gone. The speed at which the world is moving at is, and the complexity of the sciences we're doing is really requiring a global initiative where many people are working together and collaborating together. And that's why I again emphasize the importance of the Mustafa Prize, of this collaborative nature and bringing people together. Other prizes don't have that emphasis, which is, I think, maybe they're being more like traditional prizes, only recognizing the excellence. But I think the excellence and the collaborative and community building and mentorship are all essential now to move science to the next stage.
Professor Omid is the inventor of over 200 issued and pending patents, recipient of many prestigious awards for his scientific, societal, and economic contributions to America as an immigrant.
I think science, medicine has no geographic boundaries, in fact, no religious boundaries. My contributions, I hope, kind of results in betterment of humanity for everyone, including Muslims. Now, Muslims happen to be a quarter of the world, so odds are high that my contribution will probably benefit the Muslims more than others in that context. But the way I see it is, as an Iranian American, I have a tremendous amount of pride in what happens in Iran. As someone of a Muslim descent, I have a tremendous amount of pride in what happens in the Muslim community. But my approach to science has always been, what is it that we can do that benefits everyone? And that's been the theme and the model that we've played.
In the sense, you are one of the laureates of the Mustafa Prize in its 5th round. What does this kind of acknowledgement, this kind of recognition mean to you?
Well, I think anytime that you highlight a scientific accomplishment, you inspire others. And frankly, I think you inspire the young generation in what it's like to be successful. Today, we celebrate athletes. soccer
Artists.
artists
Exactly.
and movie stars. I think we need to celebrate teachers and we need to celebrate scientists
Who make our life much better, worth
who
living.
contribute. And frankly, a lot of times these folks are behind the scene and the level of recognition is down. Now, if I look at something like the Mustafa Prize, I feel deeply honored to be among the laureates this year. It's obviously the work that culminated to it was a tremendous amount of effort that happened by a lot of other people. I mean, science is a team sport, is not an individual sport. Anything that I come and accept, I accept it on behalf of just about everybody else that has traveled my lab over the last 20 years. And so in that context, I take a tremendous amount of pride in that. Now, I break the prize down into two parts. One is, well, what is the meaning of the prize in terms of what it symbolizes? And there's also the monetary part of the prize. It's actually one of the top 10 largest prizes in the scientific community. What is most important to me, frankly, is what it symbolizes. And what it symbolizes is a recognition of contribution, and contribution that hopefully has had some impact. And so in that context, I feel quite proud. The monetary part of it for me is actually less meaningful. In fact, I think the monetary part of it would be in better use in a different way. And so with my request, the Mustafa Prize Foundation agreed that we will turn my monetary prize that was coming to me and instead put that into an endowment. And the proceeds of an endowment in perpetuity would generate a sufficient amount of money so that we will establish a new prize, which is a Mustafa Prize for young investigators. And that prize will be given every other year together with the current Mustafa Prize. But the theme is that we're going to be highlighting a superstar young scientist, someone earlier in their career, but to really recognize a young investigator today. And so that is what I chose to do actually with the proceeds of the Mustafa Prize in my case. So I think it's a wonderful prize. I think it shows a tremendous amount of foresight to celebrate a Muslim scientist, especially Muslim scientists across the world. Well, I think that the future of the world is driven by, by the next generation. And so investing in the youth scientifically is imperative to make the world a better place for everyone. And by the way, and that isn't just in the Muslim world, it's across every part of the world, that the future is the young generation, and we need to invest in their education, cultivating what they need to become prosperous and successful. Their success is ultimately going to solve some of the biggest problems. I mean, today, I look at climate change as one of the biggest problems, but I'm so incredibly optimistic that innovation and science will solve that problem too. Innovation and an innovation economy makes the world a better place for everyone and overcomes the biggest challenges that we have. If I look at innovations in gene therapy, can make a blind person see again. If I look at innovations in cell therapy, can make some of the most intractable cancers potentially curative. If I look at the world, there are very, very few things that we haven't been able to solve. And the ones that we haven't been able to solve, I would say we haven't been able to solve yet, because we may still solve them in the future.
Exactly, true.
And our investments in science shouldn't be for today or tomorrow. I would even say it shouldn't even be for 10 years or 20 years or 30 years from now. We should be investing in a way that some of the fruits of our labor come immediately because you need a return on invested capital. But you should also invest for the next 50 years and the next 500 years as well. Because unless we think that we're going to be leaving planet Earth, we need to constantly be investing it to make it a better place for the next generation and then the many, many generations that follows. And so some of the fundamental research that are being done today, not applied or translational, I think the readout or the implication of that work will probably not be done in my lifetime or probably not even in my kids' lifetime, but they're still needed and they're very important.
Dr. Samia is recognized as a world leader in multiple sclerosis, or MS, a disease that affects individuals in their prime that can lead to severe disability. She is also involved in MS clinical trials and the investigation of MS biomakers.
When I went to train in the US for my neurology specialty, my first patient was actually a young woman in her 20s who had MS, but she had a very bad disease. She was completely paralyzed. She could not move her legs. She could not move one arm, and the other arm was very weak. So, but despite all this, she was very positive, and she was, her spirit was impossible, very beautiful spirit. She asked the governor to allow her to go from the nursing home to attend university on a stretcher. So it was amazing to me. And this is, I started thinking about MS. And then I heard a professor from Harvard who came to visit Cleveland where I was training, and he gave us a talk about the immunology of MS. This is how I became a neuroimmunologist.
Yet, and despite having your expertise and training and living for a while in the US of A, yet you decided to come to Lebanon and stay in Lebanon despite of the fact that the country is passing through strenuous situations, economic situations. Why? Not only you, but your husband too, who is also a laureate of the Mustafa Prize.
Well, we came back because we thought it is time to give something back to the country, and we wanted to make a difference. I was recruited back to start an MS center, and I started the MS center from scratch. And now we're following up to 4,000 patients.
Wow.
And a lot of people ask me why I didn't leave like a lot of other people have left.
Physicians and doctors and experts, they left.
I feel that I have responsibility for my patients. I don't feel that I can leave them.
Right. We are talking today on the sidelines of the 5th round of the Mustafa Prize. What does it feel for you to be one of the laureates, the only women laureate of the Mustafa Prize in the season?
Yes, I think that was... I think the prize is very amazing. It's rewarding to be recognized.
Sure.
Obviously, it's not the first prize I get, but this is a little bit different. This is, I think their idea for this prize is not only to recognize scientists, but also to create some collaborations among scientists in the region. So I think that's the differentiating factor.
What are the challenges that women face, that you face as a scholar, as a scientist, as a physician in the field of science, particularly in the Islamic world, and what are the points of strength?
Well, I think the challenges of being a woman are universal. They are not restricted to our world. Even when I was in the US, there were different and a lot of challenges for women, and they still are. It's still expected that the woman has to take care of the household and the kids and also have a career. Like sometimes a woman is in science and then she has to take time off to have a baby. And when they evaluate her career, they don't look at this particular issue, and they say, oh, okay, she didn't produce anything in the past 2 years. So it's a challenge. The strength is that, women have a different point of view. They approach things a little bit differently. So I think they can contribute significantly to scientific research. It's not easy for women to have a career and have a family. It takes a lot of organization, a lot of support from the spouse and from the family if they are around. So, if you're in a foreign country, it's more difficult.
إذا قد يكون العلم معدوم الفائدة ذاك الذي يهدف إلى الهيمنة وجمع الثروات وحصرها في فئة واحدة محدودة وخدمة الاستعمار القائم على الاستئثار بالسلطة والسيطرة على الشعوب ونهب مقدراتها، والذي لن يؤدي إلى إنعاش البشرية وتطويرها بل إلى تدمير الإنسانية. ولكن أليست العودة إلى القيم القرآنية وكلمة الله وتعاليمه والاجتماع على كلمة سواء هما الفيصل لخير الإنسان في كل مكان؟ من كل الميادين سلاماً وتحية، في أمان الله.